Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Hey, we got a Dear John letter coming up later in the program, and you can always read them early because I post them early on Thursdays, so you can read them and chime in with your own advice if you'd like as well. And if you've got a Dear John letter to send, I'd love to have yours for next week. We don't have one yet for next week, so it could be you. Send it to us through the same page, Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. I've got a quote for today, Heidi.
Okay.
It's from Harry Potter character Dumbledore, Albus Dumbledore. It says, "Numbing the pain for a while will only make it worse when you finally feel it." That's true. Absolutely true. It says here, being a workaholic is so common in Japan that workers have trouble unwinding and relaxing even during their vacations. I think I belong in Japan.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like a kid's dream here. Coca-Cola has a new faucet system that they're putting in some, not hotels, but apartment buildings. It would make more sense in a hotel, but they're doing it in apartment buildings where you'd actually have like Coca-Cola on tap in your apartment. What do you think of that? Do you think that's necessary?
I don't really think that's necessary.
I don't think it is either, but it's kind of interesting. Interesting stuff. Coming up, we got some special things going on today. We'll tell you all about it in a bit. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, April the 6th. It's American Immigration Lawyers Association Day of Action. It's also Army Day. It is Charlie the Tuna Day.
I remember Charlie the Tuna.
Drowsy Driver Awareness Day, so don't be a drowsy driver. National Fun at Work Day. We do that every day. Hostess Twinkie Day. You know how long it's been since I've had a Twinkie?
I like Twinkies. It's been a long time for me, too, but I like Twinkies.
International Day of Sport for Development and Peace Day. No, is that right? Yeah, that's what it is. And then it's National Alcohol Screening Day. So, you know, if they're doing breathalyzers at work today, you'll know why. It's National New Beers Eve, whatever that is. National Student Athlete Day, Tartan Day, Teflon Day, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Day. So, a lot of stuff going on to celebrate out there.
There you go.
Here you go. So, if you got nothing to celebrate today, you're just not trying hard enough.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. What is the worst thing you dropped in a toilet that you had to fish out? Have you ever dropped anything?
I think we've talked about this before, but no, I've never really dropped anything in the toilet.
Trying to think if I've ever dropped anything in the toilet. I dropped a cell phone, but not in a toilet. I had one that almost went in a toilet.
I'm pretty sure we had this conversation.
I'm sure we have. We've talked about so many things over the last 18 years that we've been married.
No, I mean on the radio.
So what do you think my story's about?
What?
Because I got a story that I'm going to share.
I don't remember. Drying it out in a bag of rice?
No. This is the completely different segment. See, you just think you know everything, Heidi.
Okay.
Now I'm going to read the story, and she's going to tell me, we already talked about that. From North Platte, Nebraska, we have a case of kind of a not such a good thing that happened. Police were called to a home of a 55-year-old woman who dropped her false teeth in the toilet. The toilet backed up, and the lady's boyfriend called a plumber. The plumber charged $50 to retrieve the dentures, which the boyfriend paid the $50, but then the boyfriend refused to give her the teeth back until she gave him $50. End of story. Okay, got a question for you. If you dropped your dentures in the toilet, would you want them back? The police had to be called on this man and this woman. Have we talked about this?
I don't know.
What are you laughing about over there? I don't even.
For the rest of her life, she's gonna have a eating grin.
Would you? I knew that's where you were going. Why did I ask? I mean, seriously, why did I ask? Pretty proud of yourself over there, aren't you?
I am. That's just funny stuff.
She's not going to be welcome back on the program. All right. Anyway, this lady dropped her teeth in the toilet. Plumber had to pull them out, $50. Boyfriend wouldn't give her the teeth until she paid the $50. Coincidentally, that's our Dear John letter for today. No, it's not really. All right. You know it's true, though, because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Springfield, Illinois man arrested just hours after emailing the media about his medical marijuana club. Officers arrested Scott Carey seized 50 pounds of marijuana plants and up to 500 grams of the drug. Carey said he gave his name and address to officials and sent them an email about the club that he was opening, sent it to local reporters. In his email it states, "I have opened a medical marijuana club in Springfield. I just wanted you to know. It is currently being run out of my residence. I'm accepting customers and suppliers. Thank you." And then it had his address.
Yeah, that's not.
And
that
he
is
sent
not
that
very smart
to the media. And he wonders how he got arrested. You cops are pretty crafty. How did you track me down?
Learning how to read and such.
I know. That is just crazy. So did he think that was okay?
Apparently.
Oh, but it's a club.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have done
You
a
can't arrest me. It's a club.
news release.
Apparently. Coming up, we have your moment of duh, which this certainly could have been as well.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. A Minnesota man called the police to report that a safe containing cash was stolen from his house. So police arrived only to find bicycle tracks leading away from his home. There was a little fresh snow, so it was pretty easy to track this person down. Every once in a while, the rider stopped and there was a little square imprint in the snow, about the same size as a stolen safe. The trail eventually led to the man's backyard where police found the safe and they arrested a 20-year-old man in the yard, and he also had a stolen bicycle as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, he wasn't thinking too much because
That's not nice.
he stole it and then walked directly home, leading a trail right to his home, setting the safe down along the way to even cement further the fact that he was the one carrying it. Yeah, that's how that became your moment of duh. We have your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Researchers at the Max Planck Institute for Demographic Research in Germany say our ancestors had the same odds of dying at age 30 as men today face at age 72. It says the most advances in longevity have actually been made in the last 100 years. However, living longer does have at least one downside: money. It says it makes our savings last through a 30-year retirement a whole lot more difficult. Governments worldwide are not prepared to make up the difference either. The International Money Fund reported in 2012 that if the average lifespan increases just 3 years by 2050, the cost of aging could increase by 50%.
Yikes.
Add to that,
I can see that.
The news that NASA has possibly created a reverse aging pill to give Mars astronauts for that long trip. What would happen if that hits a commercial market? All of a sudden,
reverse aging pill?
Yeah, it'd be a thing where, when they're traveling to Mars, they won't age as fast, and it'll actually even turn back time a little bit.
That's amazing.
I don't know if it's for real, but I don't know. Just doesn't know.
I don't know. I'll try it.
Is this from last Friday or is this coming Friday? It says Friday is National Crayon Day, and Crayola is going to use that day to announce the retiring of a color from their 24-box count. So
which color are they going to retire?
Well, they haven't said yet. It's the first time they've done this in 100 years, and I guess they're going to let us know which one on Friday. I hope it's this coming Friday and not last Friday. If it's last Friday, I missed out on it.
Well, if it's last Friday, I hadn't heard about it.
Okay, well, maybe it's this Friday. There was some rumblings about it last week on Facebook, but I just finally got the official story here. See? I'm a little bit behind. All right. Italy is looking at becoming the first country to offer paid menstrual leave.
menstrual leave.
Yeah, so once a month, paid leave.
I actually know people who need that.
Well, they
that
should
have
move.
horrible, horrible problems
They should
with
move
pain.
to Italy. California is raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour by the end of 2022. So there you go. If you're looking for a minimum wage job that pays well, head to California.
Yeah, but you can't afford to live there.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're going to have to increase the amount of everything else. I don't know what to say on that. Hey, children age 4 and under who get at least 10 hours of sleep a night are nearly twice as likely to be overweight or obese 5 years later. This is according to research from the University of California and the University of Washington in Seattle. National Sleep Foundation says toddlers age 1 to 3 years old should sleep for 12 to 14 hours a night. Preschoolers age 3 to 5 should be sleeping 11 to 13 hours a night. And 5 to 10-year-olds should be getting 10 to 11 hours a night. Teens, by the way, should get 8.5 to 9.25 hours of sleep nightly. Now, you know. Do you think anybody in our family gets enough sleep?
No, I
our
don't think
son
anybody
does.
in our family
I
gets
think our son does.
Well,
Yeah, there are times.
into the next day maybe,
Yeah.
but not at night.
No, he goes to bed late, but he stays up. He stays asleep in a while. Hey, if you're thinking about quitting smoking, guess what day is probably the day that you're thinking about doing it? Monday. Researchers monitored Google searches for 5 years now, and almost every week there's a huge uptick in kicking the habit on Mondays. Not exactly sure why. New study shows that more and more Americans are taking laptop computers on vacation with them so they can get ahead on work-related projects. So I'm not the only one that does that, Heidi, so quit telling me to stop. And finally, half of Americans drink soda or sugary beverages every day, and some are downing a lot of it. It says 1 in 20 people drink the equivalent of more than 4 cans of soda every day.
Yikes.
Even though health officials say sweetened beverages should be limited to less than a half a can a day. Less than half a can. Sweetened drinks have been linked to the U.S. explosion in obesity and related medical problems. Health officials have been urging people to cut back for years. Some officials have proposed an extra soda tax, and many schools have stopped selling sodas and artificial juices in vending machines. So there you go. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. We've got your Dear John letter on the way.
John and Heidi.
Imagine the sand between your toes and an ice-cold drink in your hand. Join us this November for 80s in the Sand.
Week-long event with 80s music from over a dozen awesome bands.
Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
The website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation right now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Time right now for something I really like doing. It's a fun little thing we call Dear John Letters.
Dear John. Dear John.
And we got a Dear John letter this week. We'll tell you how you can get yours sent in for next week. We still have room for next week, Heidi.
Okay.
We're all caught up with the ones we have. So
All right.
We've
We
got
need
room.
letters.
Yes, got to get them sent in. Let's see how we answer this one first.
Okay.
Maybe they'll say, yeah, I don't want to send anything to those idiots. Okay, here it is. Dear John, my wife and I are approaching our 25th anniversary, and I love her as much today as the day we first met. Oh, I like that.
That's sweet.
Our kids are grown and gone now, and we're dating again. But lately, it seems like she's never in the mood to do anything. We seldom get intimate, and when we do, she seems distant. I'm not sure if there's someone else or if she just doesn't want to be intimate. I'm starting to feel like we're drifting apart, and that scares me. I would never leave her, and I hope she doesn't leave me. But what can I do to reignite that old flame for her? Signed, Nita Spark. Well, you come to the right place. Mr. Romantic here. Okay, maybe not. Why did you laugh at that as my wife? No, here's the thing. It says in here that she doesn't seem to be in the mood. Now, it says to do anything, so I don't know if that means like to go on dates, to go do stuff, or if it's just talking about the intimate part. But, find something that she wants to do and do those things, I'll tell you, I remember not too long ago, my beautiful bride over here wanted to go shopping, and she asked me to go shopping. And one of my least favorite things in the world is to go shopping. But what did I do that day? I I went shopping.
Yeah.
I went with you because it was something that mattered to you. And it was fun. Not
Yeah.
for me, but it was fun for you. But you know what? Honestly, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. But, that was something that Heidi wanted to do. That wasn't something I wanted to do. So if she doesn't want to go do things, maybe it's because you're trying to drag her to things that you want to do. Like, hey, we're going to the monster trucks. Okay, thanks a lot. What do you think? You're looking at me like this.
Or maybe she's working a lot of hours and she's very tired.
That's
very
you.
tired.
Is that you?
And when it's time for bed, maybe he's already been asleep on the couch for an hour and a half.
She's talking about me right now. Need a spark? If that's the case, now we know what the problem is. So what are you trying to say? I need to be in the bedroom for this intimate thing to work? I can't do that from the other room? We're not answering his letter very well here.
Kind of hard to get excited when he comes into the room rubbing the sleep out of his eyes saying, hey, baby. It's like, yeah.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Things are going to get hot. I'm wide awake now. That's not what you guys want, you ladies? It's like you guys are wired differently. I just read a story that says you're wired differently. Well, my advice would be ask her what kind of fun stuff she wants to do. If that's what you're asking is,
maybe
more
just
than,
ask her what would help.
Yeah. And hopefully if you're sending a letter to us, you've had this conversation with her.
Probably not.
But you should. I mean, you should have that conversation. And you guys have been married
And if you're concerned that there's something else, there's somebody else, you should definitely have that conversation and say, I would be
just
really
careful on how you say that, though. Because if you came to me and said, is there somebody else? First thing I would think is, do you even know me? I mean, because I would never do that. And hopefully this, I don't know, 25 years.
25 years is a long time to just throw away.
And it says our kids, plural, so they have multiple kids. It doesn't say how many, but the kids are grown and gone. So you guys have, you've been together a long time.
And that makes a difference too, honestly. I mean, when the kids are gone, all of a sudden you find you're in a whole new place. You have nothing to talk about anymore because life used to revolve around talking about the children. So you've got to reignite
explore
each other.
Yeah. Well, I think you should go on a date night tonight. I mean, tonight you should go out on a date night and do something fun, but don't take her where you want to take her. Ask her where she wants to go and see how that changes
after 25
things.
years, you should know what she likes
You
to do.
absolutely should.
And you should plan that evening without even asking her.
Or we just read a thing, I don't know if it was today or the other day, it was hardly any, like 18% of the time men cook dinner, so it's hardly ever. Maybe surprise
make her a candlelight dinner.
Yeah,
she comes
surprise
home
her and
from work and there's...
Do something like that. Give that a shot and see what happens. If that doesn't work, get divorced.
Answer the
I'm
door
just kidding.
dressed in
Don't do
saran
that.
wrap.
No, don't do that either. I was teasing about the divorce thing. No, I think you two kids are going to make it, and I think it's going to be just fine. So hopefully we gave you a good response there. I don't know. I'm starting to think it wasn't such great advice. Maybe.
Do you really think anybody who writes us really thinks they're going to get good advice that's going to help them?
Worst advice ever. If you have a question, we really sold it big time on this one. If you got a question for next week, crazy, we don't have any for next week yet. I don't know why that is. Shocker. You can get your Dear John letter sent to us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstone did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The first city to have over 1 million people in population was London, England.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first big city. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Since 1972, about 3 trillion cans have been produced. Placed end to end, they would stretch to the moon about 1,000 times.
Whoa.
So that's a whole lot of cans. 3 trillion cans. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A lump of pure gold the size of a matchbox can be flattened into a sheet the size of a tennis court. So that's how thin they smush out a piece of gold. And absolute pure gold is so soft you can actually mold it with your hands. How crazy is that?
That is crazy.
Do you remember the Concorde? The airplane, the Concorde?
No.
It was a really fast airplane that would go back and forth like from one country to another, and it would go like transatlantic flights. I don't think they do them anymore. But you could depart 2 hours earlier than when you left. If you flew from London to New York by Concorde, the time zones that you crossed would actually give you, you'd get there 2 hours before you leave, as weird as that sounds. So,
Okay.
there you go. Couple of fun facts for you right there on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 rat race? Sick of not controlling your financial destiny? We partner with a leading health company whose mission is to support you to build a home-based business and help others be healthier, drop excess pounds, and live longer, more rewarding lives. Best of all, everyone who joins after you is placed on your team. No bugging family or friends. Call 866-741-7242 for more information. Or if you'd like, text the word income to the same number, 866-741-7242. 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Back in the day, we worked 9 to 5. Then somehow it became 8 to 5. Now the regular office workday can begin before the sun even rises and end when it's dark, even in the summertime. But they say all work and no play makes Jack a very dull boy, not to mention Jill. So achieving that ever-elusive work-life balance gets more and more critical. The best way to do it is to exercise. That is the word from researchers at St. Leo University and St. Louis University and University of Houston, Victoria, and Illinois State University. They all work together, and they've concluded that exercise affects how we feel about our work-life balance. It says conflict between work and home can be categorized two ways. Work interference with family describes typical job-based pressures that can lead to interference of the family time, be it psychological or actual time spent away from the family due to work. And it says here family interference with work is when personal issues find their way into your workday and they compete with work time. Individuals who exercise regularly were more confident they could handle the interaction of their work and home no matter what. It says they felt to be less stressed at work. So there you go. Whether it was personal life coming to work and that was causing stress, or if it was, work coming into the evening and, butting into personal life. If you exercise more, they're saying that you're better off. I don't know if I can agree with that because I don't exercise more.
No, but you know what? I know that when I do, I feel better.
I do too. We should exercise more.
We should.
Absolutely. Let's do that tomorrow. Thanks for listening
Starting
to the
tomorrow.
John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you have trouble getting sleep at night? There
Sometimes.
could be an easy solution. According to this, it says if you're having trouble getting shut-eye, you might want to get a cat. Yeah, researchers from France say people who cuddle up with kitty cats report more satisfying sleep than people who are catless. What's more, having 2 or 3 or 4 cats is even better. And if you have enough cats, you can just sleep on top of them like a little kitty cat bed. Now, we have 2 dogs. It doesn't say anything about dogs. I wonder why they don't have any report in there about dogs.
Because dogs are exciting.
Well,
You
here's
don't
the
sleep when you've got dogs. You're
well,
playing with your dogs.
here's
Cats
the struggle.
ignore you.
Here's the
There's
struggle
nothing
we
to do when you have a house full of cats.
Here's the thing that happens for us, because we have 2 dogs. They used to sleep in the bed with us, but they don't anymore because they get up in the middle of the night a lot, and they want to go out a lot. But if they're in their own little room, they don't do that. Either that or we just don't notice. I don't know. That could be it too. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Something crooked at the police headquarters near the nation's capital. In fact, almost everything is crooked because the headquarters in this Washington suburb is sinking. Alexandria's Public Safety Center is built on a landfill, and it's sunk 4 inches in the last 14 years. The floor is now so slanted that barbells in the police weight room roll away when they set them down.
Oh, that's not good.
The police union says the crooked department is a safety hazard, but county officials say it's more like a nuisance and renovations are under study. So it doesn't mean that they're doing them. They're just saying,
We're just going to check in.
we're thinking about someday maybe doing some renovations, so you can't make us do nothing. So because we're they're
looking
under
at
study
it.
right now.
Just
and
relax.
they say it's not a hazard, it's a nuisance. Yeah. Funny thing, when you're driving around in a car with no doors on it, it's more of a nuisance too. But you guys say it's a hazard, and I get a ticket. I've never done that, but I do know someone who did. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Open the spam folder on your email account, and you're likely to find all kinds of messy missives offering low-cost drugs, replica watches, and millions in winnings from that lottery you didn't even enter. Well, now NBC News is out with a short, interesting, and educational video explaining how email providers determine which messages belong in the spam folder and which ones do not belong in the spam folder.
Okay.
Do you ever have emails that go into the spam folder that shouldn't be in there?
Yes.
I do too. And I mean, I used to just click
Not
on there.
as many as you, because you get emails from everyone and
I
their
know.
dog.
I do get a lot of emails, but my fan letters, I just can't hardly keep up with. Okay, that's not what they are. It's usually things that I need, like projects I have to work on and committees I signed up to be on because I can't say no. But the spam folder on my computer, I find it fascinating. Like I said, I used to just automatically delete all that stuff. I can't anymore because I found some really important things in there, like some things that were really important that I don't know why they went to spam. This video from NBC News kind of explains why that is. And if you'd like to see it, I have a link to this on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I thought it was fascinating. Fascinating, Heidi. Fascinating. So if you get a chance to go check that out, I encourage you to do that. Unless, of course, you don't care what's going on with the spam. Then in that case, just, move along. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We have some good news on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news, Heidi. This is one of those heartwarming stories. You ready for some heartwarming?
I am ready.
Papa John's delivery guy spots lost dog in the road. That's when he grabs him and starts recording. It says, if you've ever had a dog, you understand what it's like if you've lost a dog. That's no fun at all. Have you ever had a dog that was lost, Heidi?
Yes.
It is not fun.
It's very scary.
In many unfortunate cases, they're never seen again, and that's not good at all. Stephen Donovan of Bozeman, Montana, is one of these kind strangers who does not want a pooch to be separated from the family. In fact, he admits, I have a strict policy of stopping and chasing stray dogs I see. It says, as a pizza delivery guy for Papa John's, he sees his fair share of lost dogs while he's on the road. His latest rescue has been receiving national attention. And it's adorable. There's a video if you want to see it on our Facebook page. A little over a week ago, he was taking an order to some customers when he saw a small black dog darting through traffic on a busy 4-lane road. Aww. True to his word, he hit the brakes, tried to lure the scared animal to safety. I wonder if he uses pizza to get him to come in the car.
That would work.
It would work. I would even get in his car.
Until you're delivering a pizza to somebody with a couple of pieces.
Does this happen
gone.
to be your dog? No. Well, then somebody else's dog ate some of your pizza. He says, at first I thought it was a little puppy black lab, but as I got closer, I could tell he was just really old, cute dog with some gray on his face. I was like, you definitely should not be running around out here. So anyway, he decided he was going to just give him the nickname Snickers. He was running late for the delivery, so he said, I just told the people, I'm sorry I'm a little late. I have this dog in the car I just found across the road. They thought it was really cool, and they weren't upset at all. Returning to his vehicle, he set off to the address on Snicker's collar. On the journey over, he decided to take a few pictures of his furry friend sitting on his lap. It's really kind of fun.
Oh, how cute.
When they were in Snicker's neighborhood, Donovan could tell they were really close because Snickers started getting really excited as he got close to home. When he got there, nobody was home. And he was going to leave the dog in the yard, and he decided not to. And he's glad that he didn't. When he talked to a neighbor, he found out that, they don't live there anymore. They just moved.
Oh. So he had moved into a new house, and the poor little guy was disoriented, trying to get back to his other house.
Exactly. And there's a quote from Donovan here. He says, "I would not mind getting fired over this. It's a dog running in the street. I had to help him. So I don't think he's going to get fired. I think that it's all going to be okay."
Yeah,
so,
I think he's probably
national attention. I bet Papa John's going to say, that's okay. We're happy with that.
Well, they'd look like a bunch of jerks if they fired him after national attention.
Anyway, if you'd like to read that story, it's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening on a Thursday.